In the tranquil village of Willow Pond, under the leafy boughs of ancient trees, lived a young duck named Daisy. Her feathers were the colour of golden morning light, and she spent many sunlit hours near the water's edge, where her reflection danced like a colourful ribbon on the pond's surface. One bright morning, as Daisy preened in delight, she spoke softly to her shimmering twin in the water. "Oh, look at me. My feathers are the finest in all of Willow Pond." She hopped and flapped, making the water ripple with laughter, not noticing that her antics had caused a small but significant disturbance nearby. Oliver, an old turtle with wise eyes and a slow, deliberate manner, was resting peacefully on his cherished lily pad. The lily pad was not just any plant. Oliver had nurtured it since it was merely a budding sprout. It provided shade and refuge, and was, to Oliver, as precious as a rainbow after rain. Suddenly, with one careless leap, Daisy's foot grazed the water, and a wave surged towards Oliver's lily pad. Startled, Oliver watched helplessly as the little patch of green beauty toppled and drifted away. "Oh no," Daisy whispered, frozen in place. Her heart skipped a beat as guilt washed over her, yet the thought of admitting her mistake sent a quiver through her feathers. Without another word, she turned and scurried into the tall grass, leaving Oliver alone by the now bare water's edge. Days passed, and Willow Pond seemed to hold its breath. The cheerful chorus of frogs and the gentle splash of fish felt muted. Oliver, usually seen basking by the pond or sharing tales of old with younger creatures, was now mostly hidden within the shelter of his shell, mirroring the bare, broken heart he felt without his lily pad. Daisy noticed the sombre change. At first, she fluttered restlessly, trying to ignore the growing weight pressing down on her, but the pond seemed smaller and duller, stripped of its joy and colour. One afternoon, while the sky blushed pink with the setting sun, Daisy confided in her dearest friend, a wise frog named Franklin. He sat serenely on a smooth stone, his wide eyes looking kindly at Daisy. "Franklin," Daisy began, her voice as soft as a breeze, "I did something terrible. I knocked Oliver's lily pad into the pond, and now everything feels wrong." Franklin contemplated her confession, then croaked gently, "The true beauty of a feather, dear Daisy, lies not just in its colour, but in its actions. Perhaps there's a way to bring back the brightness to Willow Pond." His words kindled a tiny spark of courage within Daisy. It flickered warmly, illuminating a path she had feared to take. Though the way seemed uncertain, she realized she must find the courage to mend what had been broken, not just to ease the sombre mood, but to set her heart free. Daisy knew what she had to do, and a determination as bright as morning light filled her softly beating heart. With Franklin's wisdom echoing in her heart, Daisy felt a flutter of courage rise within her. She knew she couldn't let her fear keep hurting Oliver or the pond. Taking a deep breath, she waddled to Oliver's favourite spot at the edge of the pond, her heart thumping like a little drum. Under the afternoon sun, Oliver was finally out of his shell, though his eyes were cast downward, lost in thought. Daisy approached slowly, her reflection bobbing in the water beside his. The sight made her pause, but she pressed on, her voice gentle and sincere. "Oliver," Daisy began, a slight quiver in her tone, I have something important to tell you." Oliver turned his gaze toward her, curiosity mingling with surprise. "It was me," Daisy confessed, lowering her head. "I was playing by the water and I accidentally knocked your lily pad into the pond." For a moment, Oliver said nothing, his wise eyes peering thoughtfully at Daisy. She shifted nervously, her heart a tangled knot of emotions. "I'm truly sorry," Daisy continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't mean to, and it's been bothering me ever since." Oliver sighed, the tension in his face easing a little. "It takes a brave heart to own up to a mistake, Daisy," he replied kindly. "Thank you for telling me." Encouraged by his words, Daisy asked, "Would you let me help you find another lily pad? I want to make things right." Oliver blinked in surprise, a soft smile forming on his face. "That would be lovely," he nodded. Together, Daisy and Oliver ventured around the pond's edge, searching for a new lily pad. The sun sparkled on the water, turning it into a sequined blanket. As they searched, Daisy realized that facing her mistake had already lightened her heart. After some time, they discovered a larger, vibrant lily pad, nestled not far from where the first had disappeared. Oliver gazed at it with delight, his eyes twinkling for the first time in a while. "This one is perfect," Oliver said, a hint of happiness in his voice. Daisy beamed beside him, the world around them feeling suddenly brighter. With the new lily pad settled in its place, the pond seemed to sing with renewed life. The frogs resumed their merry chorus, and even the sun appeared to shine a little more warmly. Daisy watched as Oliver lovingly patted the broad green surface of his new treasure, his contentment clear. "Thank you, Daisy," Oliver said, his gratitude deep and true. "This lily pad is even better than the last." Daisy puffed up with a feeling she couldn't quite name, a warm, bright lightness that made her feel as if she could float above the pond, like a cloud. "I'm glad, Oliver," she replied, eyes crinkling with joy. "It means so much to me that you're happy." Franklin hopped over to join them, his eyes twinkling. "Well done, Daisy," he croaked, his voice rich with approval. "The pond feels alive again." Daisy smiled at her friend, grateful for his wise words that had nudged her in the right direction. As she looked around, she noticed that the other pond creatures seemed to sense the change too. Dragonflies danced joyfully above the water, and minnows darted beneath the surface in playful patterns. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky with brushes of pink and gold, Daisy realized that she had grown in ways she had never imagined. The reflection she saw now in the pond's surface was the same, yet different. A little wiser, a little braver. Through her newfound friendship with Oliver and the steadfast support of Franklin, Daisy learned that true beauty wasn't just in her feathers or her reflection, but in the ability to take responsibility and show kindness. Her heart felt fuller than it ever had, a new feather of experience and understanding added to her plumage. And so, as Willow Pond shimmered under the setting sun, Daisy knew one simple but powerful truth. The greatest shine comes from the courage to make things right.
If you enjoyed this story, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content.